A catboy just kissed his adopted brother on the lips so a ghost could get a W, and I can see now why they changed the title from amazing to weird. I review cartoons for a living, and I have a confession to make. I've never actually seen The Amazing World of Gumball. No, like for real, not a single full— oh wait, there was the shipping one. Naturally, this leaves me in a bit of a bind, as I missed peak, and I can't really say if this new season lives up to the hype of something I've never seen. Unsure coming in as a novice where clearly the rest of y'all are experts. But then again, a fresh perspective never hurts, and I have seen quite a few clips, so I am not completely in the dark, and I am very curious. And there are some questions I'm gonna need y'all's help on for like the show's lore and whether or not this is Yuri.
All right, Yuki, I'm not doing that again. Come on, where is he?
First thing I noticed while watching Gumball is that it looks, well, weird, and I love it. 2D characters mixed with realistic-ish backgrounds and just random CGI dinosaurs and puppets. Did not know what I was getting into. I knew like there was some mixed media type stuff. The way it all blends together without like looking like it's clashing whatsoever, that genuinely floored me. This show looks fantastic. I have seen just the worst that Japanese CGI animes have to offer, so whenever like they're mixing styles, I do tend to freeze up. I was like, oh, this could be Berserk again. But Gumball's able to get away with all of it. As yeah, there might be giant CGI, semi-realistic dinosaurs wandering around, who I just been calling Not Susie in a testament to my, well, other hyperfixation at the moment, but at least the dinosaur matches the more realistic looking locales, and no point it feels like they're cheese, like, okay, let's just throw something in. It's like, no, planning, preparation, and amazing execution. Just like the comedy, which this sitcom is actually funny, and also looks amazing. Also, there's no reason this show should have better animation than Invincible.
This food is bad for you.
So much of this show just feels like a flex. We'll be filming it like there's an actual camera. There'll be sudden Sakuga moments, and I just cannot fathom Cartoon Network paying for the show to look this good, especially when they're greenlighting another 30 seasons of Teen Titans Go. And I don't say that in a hater kind of way. I say that because Cartoon Network has been fucking broke for years. Streaming kind of ruined their whole model, hence why shows with low production costs like Teen Titans and, well, Johnny Test flooded the market. So, you know, WB, Discovery, those two companies that merged that are now splitting up again despite all of the stupid decisions. Well, I don't feel like either of them really paid for this one out of their own pocket, especially when they have to then fight for it later in the divorce, which is clearly where Uncle Hulu stepped in to pick up the slack, as the binge is king and HBO has been getting rid of anything that they have deemed scraps. So basically all of old school Cartoon Network. No, for real. Every cartoon in this picture, gone from HBO Max. Let that sink in. And once that's done, key thing I really want you to take away from this, all my real praise, most cartoon sitcoms are not known for having great animation. They could if they really wanted to, but with all the reused assets, I'd imagine they're never super pressed about getting anything drawn here. Shows like Family Guy have it down to a science and will keep going until the sun burns out. Or if any of the main characters die, like the Simpsons dude said, shocking everyone, that he would say what we were all thinking out loud. You don't get like a lot of flourish in most of these productions. It makes them easy to make, it makes them cheap, which is usually the main point. So naturally, Gumball deciding to have this much extra oomph. It's just crazy. It's insane. Gumball's animation, there are so many expressions, so many moments that exist just to like impress. And I was consistently stunned. Not every episode has like these moments of random sauce, but when it happens, it hits. From the different animation memes to the expressions to the average piece of, well, Tumblr fan art, this show can get away with basically anything, so Gumball can just trick people into thinking he's not a demon or that he's not a freak. Who eats people? Now, I have lots of questions about that and, well, the incest. No, wait, I'm just ask this right now. For the rest of the series, since I haven't watched it, is there usually this many shipping jokes about the two being so close? Like, this could be totally normal for the show, this could be a fully new thing, or I'm just like paranoid ever since Rick and Morty just put me on just all the hometown Alabama references. Let me know down below, but yes, this show, amazing, and has absolutely no reason to pop off this hard so often. The show already looks good, but then this hits and the surrealist insanity of the comedy just gets sent into overdrive.
This day is starting to feel seriously cursed.
Yeah, the show is funny as fuck, the jokes are snappy, the visuals will have some people questioning. I was not expecting so many lines about the current depressing state of the world, but frankly, that feels very on brand for well, the last 10 years. And honestly, all cartoons have had like this kind of commentary back in the day. But the diff here is like we actually recognize it. And the fact that I'm guessing a lot of the kids now recognize it too because internet.
Listen, I can help you get your friend back.
You know, I miss the old internet. Back in those days, the only thing you had to avoid was viruses and pedophiles. Now kids can't open Squat without rage bait and every depressing event in existence getting thrown in their face, and having to share fandom spaces with older fans. But I think this crash course in depressing news makes Gumball taking cracks at the state of things just not feel too out of the overworked writer's pocket. Best getting some laughs in while you can, and this show is delivering them.
Hey, Nicole, haven't seen you since senior year.
Yeah, when you were a freshman.
Maybe I'm just easy to please, or maybe I just have a messed up sense of humor, but this show's ability to zig when I'm expecting a zag is the biggest reason it got so many laughs out of me. I may just not know the lore, as Nicole's parents could always be fighting, the separation could be a long time coming. Maybe the fact that the mom is a cougar who is just into this much younger toucan, but the second Nicole said, oh yeah, you were a freshman, is like, oh, this is so much worse than I thought it was. And I feel like this is like the testament to this show's writing. It's consistently able to avoid the obvious and keep me on my toes, never delivering the joke that I'm expecting even if it's in the similar ballpark. This is true surrealist humor. This is shit that could only be done in cartoons. Truly anything can happen, with the only rule here being it has to be funny. And it pretty much almost always is, except for when they're trying to like awkwardly drag out a joke.
I'm just glad to actually be of help for once, you know, like to do this and be part of making this whole relationship.
Before we get to that, I do have to state that yes, I love all the characters, and Nicole is a beast. Gumball's mom is hard carrying the entire goddamn family, having to raise 4 kids on her own since her husband might as well be one. Okay, it feels like the writers know this woman has to do it all, so I feel like they just intentionally have been giving her just the coolest stuff. From dealing with AI gone wrong to whatever Nicole has going on with
The finer things.
I'm just gonna call it what it is, the thirst trap for lesbians. Gumball's writing does seem to be taking a conscious effort to avoid some of the more annoying tropes other sitcoms fall into, having the family mostly appreciate the mom, minus the episodes where that becomes a main focus. Nicole is as integral to the story as everyone else, leading to a very balanced cast of shenanigans and fuck-ups that even she gets dragged into. Yeah, she is trying to crack the whip around here, but it's not treated as like, oh, she's a nag, she's overbearing. This woman literally has to herd cats every single day while working a full-time job. You get why she's like this, and it always feels sympathetic rather than like, oh, she's not fun, she's like keeping the characters from doing what they want. And usually she's in the right that this is weird.
That was great. Just like you were here.
Yeah, that was a phone sex joke. Like, have they always been doing this? But also, it proves Nicole's point of how the brothers are codependent, just like how she has a point about her fam refusing to be normal for one photograph, only for her to get jumped by a bitch of a mother-in-law and her parents getting divorced. But she handles it better than anyone else could, as she refuses to drop the ball, but breaks are the only thing she can't catch. Her family will rally behind her in a pinch, but despite all the headaches, she then gets to go Super Saiyan, and basically everything's forgiven. She's probably my favorite character, and, well, it's hard not to see why. Alright, let's talk about the high-functioning incompetent she's married to. I've been tired of the incompetent dad trope since it's just overused everywhere. But despite being an idiot, I actually never found myself being annoyed by Richard. Yes, he's a sentient beanbag with a sugar addiction. He's unemployed, unbothered, and powered entirely by flights of fantasy. But man, does he love his family. This is the thing I think ruined Peter and Family Guy for me. The show went from treating him like a dude who like actually cares about his kids, he's a fuck up, but he does care. That care kind of got ripped out and he just basically became an actor who's getting paid to do wild shit. Losing all sentimental moments were like, oh yeah, he kind of cares about his family, instead just a dick. Richard, for how dumb he is, how Nicole has to mother him just as much as their kids, it's never portrayed as malicious. He's a whimsical creature with everything annoying about him being just a result of forgetfulness or whatever the cartoon equivalent of ADD is. He wants to spend time with his daughter, he wants to help out Nicole, and he spearheaded the kid's attempt to crash the Angry Muppets pool. Richard might not be a good father, but he is a great dad. The pool is probably my favorite episode for him, the one where they do like a massive bit about generational trauma. That did slay me, as that just hits at like the right time for me, as generational trauma, still good stories, but that term has been overused in any discourse about animation that I'm kinda sick of it, similar to how like whenever panic attacks are brought up. Yes, when it happened in Inside Out 2, it was good, but I don't need to hear those discussions every single time. And yes, I will double check these analytics to see just how many people left for just bringing up the term generational trauma.
Is it a magic placebo? Because I'm a 30-year-old man. I stopped believing in magic 2.5 years ago.
But Richard I was kind of afraid for, as I've heard a lot of people talk a lot of smack about him and Nicole being together. However, none of what he did truly drove me off a wall. He's a man-child for sure, but at least he's got jokes, and he's able to lock it in for his wife every once in a while.
You do know she can see the edited message on her side though, right?
Anais is okay, the biggest surprise for her was actually finally hearing how you're supposed to say her name. I think I was saying it as Anais, but to get back on track, she's probably my least favorite out of the family. I enjoy her, I like her, but in the episodes we got this season, I was waiting for the great one for her though, and she's truly the focus and not the inciting force that gets everyone else to act out. And we don't really get that. It's the family in the car, she is just sitting there mostly. The one where she is getting wrinkles from worry about just her family being idiots, and them trying to be better just ends up stressing her out even more. It's funny. She is consistently funny. I was just waiting for that wow moment to really get her over for me. At the moment, she's just a good straight man, and I'm just looking for that little bit of extra like the rest of the cast has.
Actually, the plan was to frame us both for destruction of property, so we'd have to share a life sentence in a co-solitary confinement prison cell, and we'd have to be together forever.
All right, let's talk about Darwin and Gumball and their whole thing. They're freaks, enjoyable agents of chaos with a fish having a heart of gold, but the antics that these little menaces are getting into, they're kind of legendary. So for these two, seeing them just get into the most wild stuff imaginable, I think they're kind of built for this. Gumball is the wild one. He can be responsible, he can be very upbeat, I don't want to get dragged into your family's drama. Then he just continues to dig holes so deep he eventually hits the Earth's mantle. He's the right amount of smarmy mixed with stupid, where he can somehow figure out his way out of every situation, but you still know he is going to get himself into those situations in the first place, and it all feels very on brand. I'm not really looking for depth, I'm looking for hijinks, and at that he is delivering. And I kind of want to know how, what's the deal with him and Penny. As last I checked, I thought she was a potato, not an eldritch god.
It's okay, Larry. We still support essential workers.
Now, for Darwin, I kind of expected him to be a little more of the voice of reason, but instead he's kind of just the sweetheart who is getting into just as much trouble as his brother. Yes, they have different standards of what is crazy, what is fun, and how much they're really willing to risk when it comes to hygiene, but then it quickly turns into the exaggeration of oh my god, Darwin cares about Gumball's health, and he is going to do everything he can to keep him healthy, even means starvation. Or how he really thought his ghost girlfriend was gonna kill him, which she didn't, but did lead to this. Which, to put it simply, I don't know this show's full history, so I can't make any real judgment calls. However, whenever they do these bits, like Gumball x Darwin, they usually kind of linger on it just a bit too much. I get it. The shock factor of the kiss was, wow, they really did that. But it's the long speech. They're kind of oh, I don't know what they're trying to do, break tension. It's lingering. And I'm okay, we can just move on, bro. Part of this is probably just the fact that I've never cared for the overlong, oh, this is so awkward joke that I've seen a lot of shows do. We get it. But that one bit aside and the occasional miss joke, the wonderfully weird world of Gumball, it made me really regret not checking out this show sooner. Why they changed the title, I can only speculate on just what clown show led to that. I truly think Gumball manages to bring a little something for everyone. Be you a jaded kid or a jaded adult, there's something here for everyone. This show does meta humor in such a delightful way where it's off kilter and they're recognizing that the things they're doing are insane, crazy, and the like. But it's not talking to the audience or being annoying about it. It's saying, oh, we're subverting a thing, or we're subverting a thing but still doing the thing. Instead, it's running with its own brand of surrealist humor that I am truly vibing with. This season, or 20 episodes are released, it's really just 10 though, because they're all half episodes. It's good. It's a sitcom where you don't have to be super invested in the ongoing story, you just need to enjoy it. And I appreciate that, as not every cartoon needs to be lore-based. Sometimes you just want shits and giggles. And giggles this one is giving. I'm very excited to go back to the earlier seasons and see what I missed, see how things have evolved and changed, as this season did set the bar high, and I'm not sure if that's just my unfamiliarity with it, or if it's just, it really is that good. And based on what everyone else is saying, yeah, the show is just, it's peak.